we're back. All right, new chapter for the channel. And when it comes to talking about gear, we're going no bullshit. No overdone edits, no hype. Straight up, just what works, what doesn't work. Take what you need from it. Hopefully I don't waste your time. So I've worked with these lenses now on around 12 paid jobs or so in the last year. Of course, in between plenty of insignificant or smaller projects, but this was work where I specifically had the budget and the option to rent pretty much whatever camera and lens package that I wanted. But for these, I opted to convince the producers or directors to rock with these for the production. We did the initial in-depth review, but my goal for this long-term follow-up was to really analyze and understand how these lenses have performed in a highly competitive film market like LA.
Speeds.
Scene one, take one, marker.
Rolling.
So November of last year, we shot a campaign for Lincoln called Detail Therapy. This is an exciting one. The concept being this like detailing ASMR textures and sounds, sort of like a therapeutic experience inside of the Lincoln Nautilus and Navigator. Fairly high level, pretty decent budget, social forward commercial series. We had a really well-staffed crew, beautiful locations, great talent. After the scouts and initial previs with the director, and also only having 2 10-hour shoot days to accomplish 4 60-second spots, I chose to shoot on my FX3. Yeah, it might sound ridiculous to some of you, but why? I'm incredibly confident with the image I can produce out of this camera, but more importantly for this project, having a small enough footprint to be able to work in pretty much every corner of the car without an excessive amount of support and rigging to bring in a large cinema package.
That's pretty cool.
It's Reflection City for sure, I will say that. This needed to feel detailed and sharp, but also like simultaneously dreamlike and sensorial. That sometimes is a tough balance. Nowadays, it kind of feels like a lot of lenses lean towards one side or the other when it comes to clean versus character. So this is really where the Arles Primes made a lot of sense to me. These are beautifully sharp right in the center. They fall off to the edges with a really classy, clean softness that really overall still feels modern and commercial, but also beautifully organic and versatile. We lived mostly between like a T2 to 2.8, also brought in the DZO probe zoom for quite a few shots. What really stood out to me was the consistency here. If you've ever used some of the older probe lenses, matching those things against your primary lens sets in post can be an absolute nightmare. It's great to have the Arles matched really well across the focal lengths, but tossing in the probe zoom there as well, having that match, 2 thumbs up. Overall, I feel super happy with almost every aspect of these shots and what the lenses gave me. Really only a few nitpicks. Some of the flares, depending on the angle of light, aren't my favorite. Can be a little harsh, a little saturated, and certain shapes kind of sometimes unavoidably landing right on the focus of a frame. But I feel like this is pretty forgivable for the overall image quality and also the usability and build. They all have the same overall length, front diameters, as well as gear positions. Pretty close in weight between all of them. So this made our swaps, while built inside of the car, take pretty much seconds. When the tools perfectly support the workflow and create the image I want, I'm happy. On the topic of bias and transparency, as you probably would assume, DZO did send me the original A set like over a year and a half ago. I did get to keep that set, but I purchased the B set myself because I liked them that much. That said, I invested a substantial amount of my own money into these lenses. It's not like I really need to say anything positive about them. DZO doesn't get to see this video, they're not sponsoring it. So take that for what it's worth. These lenses sell for between $2149 to like $2800 each, depending on the focal length from the A or B set. There's a summer sale that they're doing directly from DZO right now. The 5 lens set is at $79.99 and the B set at $89.99. Pretty nuts. Now let's be pragmatic here. If we run some rough rental numbers for the LA area, the 5 lens A set rents out for around $250 to $300 a day, sometimes more if you have the B focal length options. So as an owner operator, if you're renting these out or on your own productions and building them into your kit fees at, let's say, $250 a day, you could pay off the 5 lens A set in like 32 shoot days. Definitely some interesting numbers to kind of chew on and think about how it could apply to you if you're considering the investment.
And 3, 2, 1, action.
This next project takes us out to the desert for this campaign with Visit Greater Palm Springs. This is a production that I've done for a few years now. Tourism and travel stuff is always really fun, shooting at beautiful locations, making stuff look as pretty as it can. But this particular production is a sprint. We were shooting 30-second broadcast commercials for various hotels, resorts, casinos, but each in a single day. This year we did 5 back-to-back, so only 1 shoot day per spot. Can get pretty tough. So to pull these ones off, we were flying the red V-Raptor on an anti-gravity cam rig that was operated by my really talented friend Jarrell. He's like one of 10 or 12 operators of this specific camera support system in the world. Pretty nuts. It creates this incredibly dynamic and fluid movement, kind of like a jib and airy Trinity combined, but it is a tedious and highly specific setup to configure. For this type of work, changing locations like every hour, up to like 6 company moves in a day, there really is no time to reconfigure or have to rebuild this complex of a rig. This is definitely where the physical uniformity of the Arles Primes becomes a massive business asset. Size and weight all being super consistent across the entire set meant that my ACs could pull off a lens swap while built on the rig in less than like 60 seconds. Realistically, I think a good cine zoom, something really fast and clean, would be more suitable for these types of shoots. But having 11 different focal lengths to pick from and them being consistent, being able to do swaps pretty simply means that I don't have to sacrifice and can still get the image quality I want with these primes without everybody having to break too much of a sweat. The optics of cinema lenses matter so heavily, like figuratively and literally. There's definitely a bit of a stigma when it comes to budget or non-traditional industry brands. A fallout effect of that is that even if a third-party piece of gear is good and it performs well, if it's not well enough recognized and respected within the market, it will struggle to earn a fair rental rate or even be desirable to be rented or utilized on higher level projects. But honestly, these lenses I kind of think have successfully crossed that threshold. Like, I've had 0 problems or hesitations with bringing these onto a set, and they're consistently getting rented and utilized in a lot of the circles that I'm within. No one blinks an eye, and they have the image to back it up. And mind you, these are $2,000 lenses. Not saying that's cheap, but realistically, the complete 11 lens Arles set costs less than buying a single industry standard prime. These spots are already airing on local California television this year, and honestly, knowing that this glass held its own gives me all the validation I need to convince whoever. In the last 18 months, so much of my life has changed. A massive part of this chapter has been getting much more intentional with my financial goals and my long-term business strategy. Depending on what type of work you're doing, the idea of owning gear tends to be kind of a controversial one. And that's generally because owning affordable or like entry-level gear usually won't earn you much more than your typical day rate. Often the mindset is to just bleed your margins and constantly expect to be renting glass and camera packages for every single job. So it's hard for a lot of people to figure out what the threshold is for investment. But for me, owning this ecosystem outright means that as a DP, I line item my own set of glass on the invoice, the client and director get a pristine commercial ready image, and the entire set pays for itself within a year or two's worth of jobs. At the end of the day, looking at your career through a strategic financial lens isn't just about maximizing a spreadsheet. It's about freedom. Recently, I was watching this really great financial breakdown by Scott Peters here on YouTube, where he mapped out his entire revenue system and his annual earnings. His ultimate takeaway was what really hit home for me. At a certain point, the goal for all of this just has to be less stress. As the years go on and the older I get doing this, I have to step off the treadmill of endless new gear and accumulation and constantly trying to build the newest suite of equipment. I want to be able to direct that energy into doing things and making work that I'm proud of and learning new things and skills outside of the gear that will hopefully make me a better artist and a happier person.